Okay.
Recording in progress.
Okay. Welcome, everyone, to the Township of Chatham Committee meeting tonight for Tuesday, March 24th, 2026. The meeting is called to order at 7:32. Mr. LeConte, has adequate notice been given?
Yes, adequate notice of this meeting of the Township Committee was given as required by the Open Public Meetings Act as follows. Notice was given to both the Chatham Courier and the Morris County Daily Record on January 7th, 2026. Notice was posted on the bulletin board in the main hallway of the municipal building on January 7th, 2026, and notice was filed with the Township Clerk on January 7th, 2026.
Thank you. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Alperowitz?
Here.
Mr. Choi?
Here.
Mrs. Ewald?
Here.
Deputy Mayor McHugh?
Here.
And Mayor Rowland.
Here.
We have the whole committee.
Thank you. Please rise for the flag salute. Okay, happy spring, everyone. The first topic I want to discuss in my mayor's message tonight is just a quick overview again of the tax revaluation here in Chatham Township, as outlined in letters that were mailed to residents back in September, a few snowstorms ago. The revaluation was mandated by the Morris County Board of Taxation back in 2023 because we hit the trigger of disparity between assessed value and market value. The last time a revaluation occurred was in 2005, and it seems like a long time ago. So evaluators will be knocking on doors requesting to look through your home. Takes about 10 minutes, and if you're not available, they will leave a note, and you can contact them to come up with a mutually agreeable time for them to come back in. It's really in your best interest to have them come in rather than declining them coming in, because if they do not get to look at the home themselves, they will have to make assumptions and usually assess it at the highest value. There's a lot of information available on the website that gives project status updates and the schedule for evaluations, and also information about the inspectors. We were a little bit delayed in starting the evaluations. I know we wanted to start in January, but due to the snowstorms, we were delayed a few weeks, but now I believe that we're well underway with the tax evals. Regarding the library, I won't steal Marty's thunder, but we received some great news from the state regarding a significant library grant, and a big thank you to Assemblyman Andrew McCurdy and Vincent Carney also for getting these stalled funds unstalled. So it's great news. We are talking about the budget tonight. We are voting on it, and it was presented 2 weeks ago by Mr. Shahadi. Again, it was a thoughtful and diligent process with myself, a CPA and accountant of 35 years, and Committeeman McHugh on the Finance Committee, who has run his own successful business for many years as well. As a small community with minimal commercial area and no significant revenue generating opportunities, we have managed to meet our requirements, pave our roads, upgrades to Esternay and playgrounds, even while coming up against significant increases in expenditures, including insurance costs, which everyone that I talk to is seeing across the board, not only locally, statewide, but nationwide. Additionally, the tax reval that I was just discussing comes with a price tag of about $750,000. So we used all the tools and the levers that we had at our disposal and presented the best possible budget. Lastly, March is Women's History Month. This was established in the United States in 1987, not that long ago. And I have a few interesting facts. Did you know that companies that have boards with gender equity outperform those that don't by 2 to 5%? That comes from Bloomberg. Did you know that 85% of US consumer spending is done by women? And did you know that the first CIA operative to be killed in action ever was a woman named Jane Burrell, and she does not have a star on the wall at the CIA for members killed in action. because she was killed in a plane crash, and they said that doesn't count, which I disagree. I had the honor and privilege last night of attending a Women's Heritage Month event at the Governor's Mansion, hosted by our 57th governor and first female Democratic governor in the over 200 years of history in New Jersey. I met some of the incredible women running municipalities, counties of the state. So think about the women in your life. Call your mom, your grandmother, your aunt, if you're still lucky to have them around, and give those fantastic women in your life a hug. Now on to Township Committee reports. Craig, will you lead us off, please?
Thank you, Mayor, and I will call my mother after this. April starts an exciting month of Earth Month for the Environmental Commission. There's a series of events that are taking place. On April 22nd, they're doing a screening of Your Extraordinary Caterpillar in partnership with the library. They're going to show the film. They're going to distribute milkweed seeds. Bonus points to anyone that can tell me how you raise milkweed with milkweed seeds. They'll have a speaker and a Q&A after the film. They're also doing 2 invasive species walks, one on April 11th at the Green Village Pond Conservation, and the following day on the 12th at Shunt Bike Trail. Both are at 10:30 in the morning. This is all about learning about the invasive species and what they're doing to our landscape, and why this is an issue and something to pay attention to, and how to help. They are also having the annual native plant sale at the Great Swamp Watershed Association. That's going on pretty much most of the month from April 1st to 21st. And if that's not enough, you'll be hearing from the Environmental Commission throughout the month about ways and tips and tricks on how you can really make a difference and lessen your impact on the environment. So stay tuned for all that. Additionally, on the first public safety side, had the annual installation dinner for the officers at the Chatham Emergency Squad, which is a pretty terrific event every year, mostly for my colleagues and I to be able to turn the pager off for the one night of the year, but also to celebrate each other and talk about sort of all of the work that's been done over the course of the year. Some quick stats. 1,412 calls were answered by your first responders on the emergency squad, 123 second calls, and 7 third calls, which anyone wants to pay attention. That means when one ambulance is out, a second call means it's a scramble, and people have to drop what they're doing to go help. Simultaneously, a third call, more people have to drop what they're doing and go pick up the call. In addition, the squad also trained over 413 people on CPR, and that includes your community members, police, fire, coaches, school nurses, everyone across the board. They do a tremendous amount of work. And the 2 highlights of the night, among many others, one is for Chatham Township resident Richard Nelson, who's been on the squad for 31 years. They honored him with the inaugural Richard Nelson Legacy of Response Award, and this is a new award that is given to an exemplary member who basically always answers the call. And Richard really personifies that, as he has for over the past 30 years, and it was a real privilege to see him receive that award in person, not on that night. And secondarily, the highest honor that's ever bestowed upon any individual at the emergency squad is called the Dick Richards Award, who himself would probably be eligible for the Legacy of Service Award. And that was awarded to Evan Skinner, who is also a Chatham Township resident, and this pretty much exemplifies somebody who pretty much is always doing everything that they possibly can for the squad, both in the field and in the boardroom and everywhere in between. And I honestly can say Evan certainly personifies everything that award has bestowed upon her. And that's all I have to say.
Committeeman Choi?
Thank you, Mayor Rowland. Wellness is a front of mind topic, I think, for last several years, and increasingly so. I think it'll become a big part of everyone's life and consideration. With that vein, the Wellness Fair just concluded its recent installment this past Sunday at the Stanley Center. There were about 12, 15 vendors there, a yoga studio, dermatologist. The YMCA was represented there. You could have gotten your blood screening done there, body mass index measured for those who are brave enough to have that measured. I saw lots of familiar and unfamiliar faces, so hats off to Health Department and everyone else that helped to put that fair together and make it a success. It is truly a multidisciplinary program and offering. It involves the school, the health department, our staff, businesses in the area in the wellness and health industries. So I thought it was an excellent event, and I look forward to the next installment on that one. If I may expand on Mayor Rowland's comments on the eval, I mentioned it in our last meeting. To the extent that you are curious to know where you might be in the queue, you can find that information out on the vendor's website. You can also go to our the Township website, where you can find additional information on the reval itself. But the vendor's website, appraisal systems, is asinj.com. A is in Alpha, S is in Sierra, I is in India, nj.com. There, you can find a link to a spreadsheet for the entire township, as well as every other municipality who's undergoing a reval. In that spreadsheet is every tax lot, and you can find yourself there, where you are queued up, as well as the inspector's name, who's scheduled to arrive and greet you at the front door and perform his tasks. So hopefully that's helpful, and that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Committeewoman Ewald.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we had a senior center meeting, and I wanted to give some updates. The senior center is going to have their annual shred event April 25th from 9 to noon at the Chatham Middle School. It's a very popular event and a great opportunity to support the senior center. And also, they're planning for their garden tour, which should be a great garden tour. It looks like it's going to be the weekend. They might have to bump it, Fishwack, but Fishwack is a Saturday, and the garden tour will be the Sunday. So it'll be a great opportunity to do a lot of fun things locally. The senior center just has so many amazing programs, and there are many people who attend. I mean, many people take advantage. And I'll just give you some examples. I mean, this week, in addition to a classic movie and discussion coming up tomorrow, Thursday, there's weekly AARP tax prep help, so if anybody needs that. There's a nonfiction book group, there's men's basketball. There's so many activities, and people really do take advantage of it. But we always talk about and worry about the people who don't take advantage of the facilities, and we want to make sure that residents don't hesitate. If you're 60 and over, don't feel like you have to be older. There really are many active, groups. It's very appealing to all residents over 60. So I hope people will take advantage, because they have fabulous programs, and we want to make sure that our residents get the benefit of those programs that are available. And they do such a phenomenal job over there. I think that's everything that I wanted to share.
All right, thank you. Deputy Mayor McHugh.
Thank you, Mayor. Let's start with an update with open space. I wanted to thank the calling out of we need members and we need to volunteers, etc. It looks like we're adding a few people to the advisory committee, which is great news. We have not met this year yet, so there's not a lot of activity or action to report. But we will get going here very shortly, and so I'm excited about that, to have some feedback on a lot of subjects that have been outstanding. And then the big news, thank you, Mayor, for pointing that out, and that is all about the library. The state, in its wisdom this time, has decided to give the Library of the Chathams a grant that was approved by the Joint Budget Oversight Committee, which is the last rubber stamp. And this is an exciting time, and it will be a catalyst for a lot of dialogue and conversation on a significant project with very significant needs for the library. And so stay tuned to that. look to cooperate and provide input, et cetera, because there'll be news all along the way as this develops. So we thank the various catalysts as well, not necessarily the state themselves, but the Mr. McCarty and Mr. Carney, who were very helpful in motivating a JBOC that didn't meet for almost 2 years, and it was very straightforward. And hats off to Karen Brodsky, the library director, who was constantly stepping up and trying and trying and trying, and motivating those other people who around her to also try to keep it on the front burner of those people who had influence. So we look forward to those developments, and we will absolutely keep the public engaged, informed, and look forward to moving this forward now. Thank you.
Thank you. My reports, the Chatham Township Historical Society is looking for a treasurer if anyone is interested and available. It's QuickBooks, a few transactions a month, running a monthly P&L. The Historical Society will provide the laptop. So if anyone is interested, please contact the Historical Society, or you can reach out to me as the liaison, and we would love to talk to you. The next program for the Historical Society is going to be called New Jersey During the Revolutionary War, and that will be at the library on April 16th from 7 to 8 p.m., given by Pat Wells. Pat Wells, one of the best storytellers I know, and in Chatham, she knows everything. She's great. Last night, the Board of Ed presented their budget. That information is located on the school district website if you want to follow up on the meeting and the presentation. And following on Committeeman Choi's discussion of the wellness event, it was great. I was there at the Board of Health table, and I have some information that I will put at the front of the municipal building, which was great that we got from the county, just some resources for healthcare, housing, legal, food, and also just a quick cheat sheet about physical therapy. So I will leave these up at the front if anyone is interested. And that is it for the committee reports. And we will move on to the first hearing of citizens. Mr. LeConte, if you would please give guidance.
Members of the public are now welcome to come up to the microphone to address the Township Committee. This is an opportunity for any member of the public to be heard about issues which are not topics scheduled for public hearings tonight. Those present may step up to the microphone to be heard. If you're watching via Zoom, you may speak during any of the public comment sessions by following the Zoom instructions to raise your hand. Whether in person or online, when you are recognized to speak, please mind the following procedures. Please say your name, spell your last name, and give the name of your street. You do not need to give your street number. All public comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Rather than use any of your time answering questions, the Township Committee will wait until you finish speaking before responding. There are 2 public comment sessions on tonight's agenda. Each member of the public will be limited to 1 comment of up to 3 minutes during each public comment period. Written comments submitted to the Township Clerk before 3 p.m. will be read during the public comment sessions. Written comments are subject to the same guidelines as oral comments. Duplicative written comments may be summarized rather than read in full, according to guidelines issued by the New Jersey Division of Local Government Services. And Mayor, we did not receive any written comments for tonight's meeting.
Okay, thank you. Are there any hands raised online?
We do not have any hands raised.
Okay, thank you. I don't see anyone in the audience, so we can close the first hearing of citizens. And we will now move on to the public hearing, the final adoption of ordinances. I'd like to open the public hearing for ordinance 2026-04, the cap bank. This is part of the annual budget process. It's just kind of a standard ordinance that we file. Is there any comments or questions? Nope. Okay. So I can close the hearing for ordinance 2026-04.
I move that we adopt ordinance 2026-04 regarding the cap bank.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. LeConte?
Mr. Alperowitz,
Yes.
Mr. Choi,
Yes.
Mrs. Ewald,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McHugh,
Yes.
and Mayor Rowland.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. The next, the introduction of ordinances. Is there a motion to introduce ordinance 2026-08, the open space tax?
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments? Anything? You want-
Mayor, yeah, if I
Yes.
may, just for the benefit of the governing body and the public, sequentially, this is before the budget, because part of the budget proposal is that due to some other increases that are beyond our control, as explained during the budget presentation, specifically the three big ones being state health benefits plan from the state that increases almost 30%, the already excessive costs due to winter storms that have exceeded the whole expenditures of last year, and the cost of the township reval, the county-ordered township reval, all three of those near almost $1 million. And so recognizing that that's a lot to ask for the town residents in 1 year, we wanted to provide some relief. The Finance Committee felt that they wanted to provide some relief, and one way was by looking at the needs of open space for this year, as well as all the projects that are currently in the pipeline and coming that are funded. And therefore, we were able to suggest and request from this governing body a decrease of the default 2% tax on open space down to 1.5%, which overall represents about $175,000 across the tax base. So I just want to prelude that before we take a vote.
Right, I appreciate that. And this is only for 1 year?
Correct.
It's not a permanent change, it is 1 year?
Correct.
Because, and any projects that would come up would not be happening during the year anyway, so.
Correct. It's not unprecedented. It has happened in recent years, and it will default right back to the 2% for us to decide next year what we want to do.
Right, thank you very much. Okay.
Mayor, if I may, for further clarification with regard to the open space tax, the change of which, by doing so, that is reducing the rate from 2 to 1.5%, we are not foregoing any what would have been previously scheduled or conceptualized open space projects for this year. So there's no negative impact as a result of making the change in terms of open space initiatives for the year.
That's correct.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just to clarify, because it sounded like, just to make sure we're all on the same page, we reduced it by 0.5% to make it 1.5%.
Yes.
Okay. It sounded like you said reduce to 1.5%. Maybe I
No,
misheard.
from 2 to 1.5%.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. I just want to make sure
Yeah. TWA.
they all heard.
Yes, yes. Okay. So what do we do?
I'm waiting for you to call a vote.
Oh, go all vote, please.
Mr. Alperowitz,
Yes.
Mr. Choi,
Yes.
Mrs. Ewald,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor McHugh,
Yes.
and Mayor Rowland.
Yes.
Motion passes, and the public hearing will be on April 28th.
Okay, thank you. Okay. I would like to, is there a motion to introduce the 2026 municipal budget resolutions 2026-081 and 2026-082?
I would recommend that we do these one at a time.
Okay.
And Mr. Shahadi has a presentation.
Yes, that would be great, just a rehash. It was presented, Mr. Shahadi presented the budget at our last meeting, and we can do a quick recap.
Thank you, Mayor. So yes, a full presentation was offered at the last meeting, at our workshop meeting, consistent with years prior. That video with the presentation is available online on our website through our YouTube channel. Just look up the March 10th, 2026 meeting, and the presentation with the slides and the commentary is all there. Or if you'd like, you can email me or the clerk, and we will provide you a link to the direct start of that presentation. Thank you. Thank you, Greg. All right. So Mayor, you did give a quick recap on the Finance Committee, subcommittee this year. We've got some terrific individuals, as we do every year, who have great experience in business and finance, and we were able to prepare what I think is a fiscally responsible budget for this year and beyond, given all the constraints. Quick timeline, March 10th, we just did that last week. Tonight's the presentation, the actual formal introduction of the budget, and it is done by resolution, but it does require 2 hearings, so it's treated like an ordinance. So at the April 28th meeting, there will be another chance for the public to ask questions and learn more between now and then. Also, they can email myself, and I'd be happy to provide any answers regarding the budget. Quick overview. So last year to this year, when you look at the budget document, you'll see only a slight increase, only $312,000 in the appropriations, okay? However, that is, I don't want to say misleading, it doesn't give you the full picture, because by law, we are required to budget as an appropriation, as an expense, all the grants that we receive, and also book them as revenue. So even though that increase was only 312, you'll look at the revenue and it dropped by $1 million, almost $1,030,000. That's clarified down below to give somebody a real idea of what the increases were and the decreases. So taking out the budgets, right, we've got an increase in the appropriations by almost 1.5 million. As I mentioned, about $1 million of that is those 3 non-discretionary major challenges that we faced. And as far as revenue goes, however, even with the removal of those grants, we've got an increase in revenue of 212. But the way the budget works is we will take our appropriations, our revenue, subtract them, that's the stuff at the top, and we come up with the amount that needs to be raised by taxes, and that's at 13.2 million. And we take that and divide that by our tax base, the net valuation taxable. Net valuation taxable, and that's how we come up with our tax rate. So this just gives you an overview of the appropriations, revenue, and the tax base. The tax base this year was went up, but it was a slight increase, and the lowest increase over the last number of years, probably the smallest in, I think, 5 or 6 years. Which,
Yeah.
yes.
I just want to thank you, if you can go back to that other screen, because I think you added that, which is very helpful. So that bottom one, because this is a piece that we don't, really isn't obvious. So the bottom slide, you're showing when you remove the grants, which kind of falsely amplify last year's activity, exactly
Correct.
what happened. So we have a $1.5 million increase on about an $18 million budget, which is nearly 10%, largely driven by outside pressures.
Correct.
And it's not just us, it's also the school district. Everybody's feeling this. So I guess I want residents to understand, because this is not, want to have, wish to have, like to have. This is just keeping the lights on kind of activity.
Right.
And it's just outside pressures that are creating, okay, thank you.
Yep.
That was
And-
very helpful.
And committee woman, last meeting you did ask also about the health benefits. I want to just emphasize that the increase is not specific to Chatham because of our employees alone. It is statewide. That is the state health benefits program. So, our claims experience, our employees and our retirees affect that, but it's also affected by overall what the state's premiums and expenses are, and they divvy that up amongst the pool of participants in the plan. So that a 30% increase, and I'll go into that in the next slide here, we're looking at a 32% increase in healthcare costs, $805,000 our assessment went up, massive. And that's happening to a lot of towns, counties, as you said, school districts. It's happening across the board, and not just municipalities are feeling it, but the employers, but the employees too, because our employees participate and pay into their health plan as well, so they're seeing that same increase. So when people think, oh, their salary is going up, a lot of that's going to just be eaten up by their healthcare contributions. And the more you make, the more the contributions, the percentage, it's a sliding scale. So that cost is not just, and it's, I don't say it's out of our control. We can try and control it, and we have every year. I shop that out. I get our claims experience. I send it to our broker. I have our broker shop it out to different plans and see, and we either get declined because they say we can't beat your rate, or they say we simply can't do it because of the claims experience. We've tried different options, pooling with other municipalities. And other municipalities are seeing those increases, even if they left the state health benefits, they see it, and sometimes they get a quick hook rate, a nice rate the first year, and then they see those same increases in subsequent years. So we are doing what we can with healthcare costs. We're trying to help those. We've also been marketing it to our employees, the different plans that they have. We're showing them, okay, if you look at, if you only go to the doctor this many times, and this is how many visits you have, and this is your copays, you could probably opt for this plan, which will cost less for you, and save yourself and the town some money. And some people have, some employees have done their part in that effort too. Weather, as I mentioned, the storms just this year alone have exceeded the costs of last year. And so we have to account for the end of the year and other storms. It's not just winter storms that we have to plan for. And so over time alone, we have to increase our budget by $50,000 this year on that. That's salt as well. That's our contractor to make sure the roads are open quickly and safely, and salt and brine. And then.
So on the healthcare piece, because
Yes.
I know I asked you, I've been bugging everybody about this. So our healthcare, I think you said it's 50, somewhere around 50 active employees and somewhere around over 60 retirees, which most, if not all, municipalities have moved away from subsidizing retiree healthcare benefits. And I don't know if the township did it later, but it seems that some of our counterparts that were able to leave the state plan because of better experience, whatever, maybe it was just incentive fees that they got, low prices that they got from these other insurance providers. But they did not have the same history of supporting retiree benefits. So there is some stuff built in that was based on decisions way back when in terms of carrying our retiree benefits. Whatever supported those decisions in the past, it doesn't exist anymore. I can't remember when, like 10 years ago is it now, right, that we stopped doing that? Retiree
It
benefits?
was not long after I started, so about 18 years ago, 19 years ago, we stopped doing that.
Yeah, but we're still carrying people who were here
From before.
decades ago,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm the last employee in the municipal building that'll get that.
yeah. Thank you.
Yes. And as I mentioned, the tax reval, so it's, the cost of all of that was about $700,000. We did a special emergency appropriation. Essentially, that's just a way to split that cost up over 5 years, so it doesn't hit in 1 year. So this is the first year of that $700,000, so that's a $130,000 expense. So I broke it down here just as a snapshot of the top 7 items, which make up 77% of the budget. And as you mentioned, Committeewoman Ewald, right, that's right there, we're looking at just those, almost 10% increase on the budget of just those things. The pension, social security, the debt payments, our utility costs are going up, and that's everybody, right? If you're dealing with these expenses at home, unfortunately, we have to deal with it too. All the buildings, the facilities, and so the remainder of that, if you look at just the leftover, is just 4.4 million, and we've done a great job of trying to keep that under control. So the review, right, as I was talking about, you look at the amount to be raised by taxes, that's what's known as the levy. The net valuation taxable, divide those, you come up with your tax rate. We also, for clarity and for ease of understanding what the impact is to residents, the average residential assessment is $878,600 this year. So that means the average annual residential tax bill for those municipal purposes, again, municipal, we don't control the school budget, we don't control the county budget, we collect all the taxes for everybody, and we just dish it out, but we are only responsible, you are only responsible for just the portion that we're talking about here. That's an annual tax bill for the average annual residential assessment of $3,302. That's $275 a month. And as I mentioned, that open space tax that we just introduced at 1.5% represents a reduction, a little relief on the tax base of $175. So that $275 a month is paying for all of this, which frankly I think is a bargain. All these things that people take for granted, they don't think about the fire hydrants, the street lights, the traffic lights, the storm sewers, the collecting of the recycling, the animal control when you need it. All of these things, the snow removal, the police, making sure that your community is safe, and then the fire departments, the EMS, who we provide subsidies to, and the senior center, that for $275, or what did I say? I think $275, right? I think that's a bargain
Yeah.
for all these services. And that just quick visualization, we're just controlling this slice right here. So your tax bill, the largest chunk of it is the school, and then another portion of it to the county. Right there is the bulk of your tax bill, which we don't control. We just collect it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shahadi. Really appreciate all the hard work. We did. We sharpened the pencils and sharpened and racked our brains, and it really was there were challenges, but again, to your point, we are not cutting services. We are continuing to provide all the services and the safety and subsidize all the important things that we need to do.
And with all that too, we're still supporting and providing the capital investments to the roads, the police, the fire departments,
Yep.
the public works, to make sure that they can continue doing their job. So not cutting services, not, and actually just, and ensuring that the service delivery is maintained or done better. And our departments are fantastic at, really stretching the dollar.
Yep.
They are very, efficient and very cost conscious. So kudos to the finance department and all the department heads for all they do.
Right. And this is a process that started months ago, when you reach out to the departments and work with them on, putting together their ask and their list. They know the rules now. They don't, over ask. They know, how this process works. And then, month after month going through, how do we pull this all together? So we really appreciate everybody's hard work. Thank you.
I guess I would just remind residents that tonight's not the only night to raise questions or ask. Mr. Shahadi is very available by email, by phone, if necessary. We are meeting again prior to the adoption of this. This has been discussed and will continue to be discussed if needed.
Yep. Thank you. Okay, is there a motion to introduce Resolution 2026-081, introducing the year 2026 municipal budget?
Well, we'd actually be
Or
adopting,
we're adopting,
Yeah.
sorry.
adopting the resolution to introduce the budget.
Adopting the resolution to introduce the budget.
I move that we
Yeah.
adopt the resolution 2026-081, introducing the year 2026 municipal budget.
And I will second that. I will not repeat it, but I will second it.
Okay, and vote?
Mr. Alperowitz,
Yes.
Mr. Choi,
Yes.
Mrs. Ewald,
Yes,
Deputy Mayor McHugh,
Yes.
and Mayor Rowland.
Yes.
Motion passes, and the public hearing on the budget will be on April 28th, prior to the resolution to adopt it.
Okay. Is there a motion to adopt Resolution 2026-082, budget self-examination?
so moved.
I'll second.
Okay.
Mr. Alperowitz,
Yes.
Mr. Choi,
Yes.
Mrs. Ewald,
Yes,
Deputy Mayor McHugh,
Yes.
and Mayor Rowland.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, we can move on to the consent agenda. I believe we are pulling out Resolution 2026-089, awarding the contract for Esternay ADA improvements. We're still working on some paperwork there, so we're going to pull that one out. Are there any questions or comments related to any items, or would anyone like to pull anything out? Nope. Okay, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
so moved.
I'll second.
Okay,
Mr. Alperowitz,
Yes.
Mr. Choi,
Yes.
Mrs. Ewald,
Yes,
Deputy Mayor McHugh,
Yes.
and Mayor Rowland.
yes,
Motion passes.
thank you.
real quick, for the benefit of residents, the contract for the Colony Pool concession stand, even though the name that's in there is a bit cryptic for most people, it's the vendor that was there a couple years back, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
we had a lot of great feedback on them in the past, so I wanted to make sure people were aware of that, because I think it says Colony Pool LLC or something like Colony Concession.
This is cat.
Corporate
Corporate
cafe.
cafe.
Corporate
Corporate
cafe.
cafe.
Corporate cafe.
Close enough.
It's
Equally generic.
Mr. Vespucci's company.
Yes, thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, we would now like to open the second hearing of citizens. The same rules apply. Mr. LeConte, does anyone have their hand raised online?
Yes, I do have one hand raised.
Okay,
Okay, Mr. Carr?
Good evening. My name is Stuart Carr, C-A-R-R, from 3 Crestwood Drive in Chatham Township. A couple of small comments, particularly on the open space component of the budget. Again, I saw some of these slides, and I'm going to send out an email to Mr. Shahadi based on a formal or a prior email conversation over the last week or so, but I haven't pushed the button on it yet. I didn't see anything. I recognize there's been still a lot of deferred maintenance, or whatever term you want to use. We haven't spent enough money years ago to really fund the stuff that we need, so we're still catching up. But having said that, there wasn't anything on that slide that spoke to the purpose for the open space fund, which is to put money aside, effectively a savings account, for open space acquisition, easement purchase, conservation easement, etc. We're basically flatlining that over the last several years, and we're talking about projects, but no putting money into the reserve. So if we can consider that, if not for this budget, at least make a commitment going forward to use the Open Space Trust Fund for the purpose for which it was intended initially, and should be for the acquisition and preservation of open space, not necessarily for these other very, very, good uses. And I know, again, this is a lot of deferred, stuff that we're catching up with. So if you can keep that in mind, that would be appreciated. The other thing, again, just a very, very small item. Unfortunately, you're not going from 2% to 1.5%. That would be nirvana for me. But I think the numbers, you got the dollars right, but I think we're talking about 2 cents per $100 of valuation, which I think might be 0.02% as opposed to 2%. So if the chief financial officer and administrator could maybe check my math on that to make sure that when we're making comments, that we have that part squared away, because I think that would maybe be a little bit more clear for the audience. Again, I'd love to have 2% open space tax, but it's, again, 2 cents per $100 valuation, down to 1.5. Again, I disagree with that. I think we should be spending the money, or not spending the money, raising our taxes to have that money in that segregated account for open space opportunities going forward, to supplement any kind of bonding we'd have to do to acquire or get an easement on something. Again, I recognize the severe fiscal constraints we're under, which is duly noted, but if we could just keep in mind going forward, when we get a little bit of room, to more fully utilize that fund for the purpose for which it was intended. Again, otherwise, superb job by everybody, and thanks for your time.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Carr.
Yeah, thank you for that clarification. It's been some time since I've chatted about open space, so he's 100% right. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is correct. But the resolution does state that. It just,
Oh,
for ease of understanding by the public, put 0.02, 2 cents per $100,000 per assessed value. It just sounds easier to call it 2%, 1.5%, but it is correct. It's that's the amount, and that is what we reference in the budget documents and in the ordinance today. And I do want to just clarify that even with that, we still have planned a reserve. At the end of the year, we are expecting a reserve of almost $494,000 in the open space fund.
Thank you. Okay. Any other questions online?
We do not have any other hands raised.
Okay, thank you. Seeing no one in the audience, we can now close the second hearing of citizens. And I guess, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make such a motion.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye.